So good evening everyone. My name is Sarthak Bisht. I am from Uttarakhand, Haldwani. So I'm currently in Masai, 6th unit in the revision batch. So in this video, I'm going to explain you about one of the assignment questions that I've got, and I have to explain about Redux Toolkit and some of the important functions of the Redux Toolkit. So let's share my screen first. So this was the question. I had to explain about the modern Redux Toolkit. First of all, let me tell you about something about Redux Toolkit. Redux is basically a higher state management library of React that we use for advanced state management. For the basic state management, we use context API and all those things. But for when your project is very big and you are unable to store and unable to manage the numerous amount of states, so that's why for that purpose we use Redux Toolkit. But before that, there was a legacy Redux, which was later replaced by this Redux toolkit. So let's get started. First topic was about explain what create async thunk. So create async thunk is basically a inbuilt function in Redux toolkit that is for handling some asynchronous task, because we all know that JavaScript is a synchronous language. So for for doing some asynchronous task, we need async function. But in React, we don't have the such kind of things. Sorry, Redux. So we take the help of this Redux toolkit that provides us some inbuilt function, which is called create async thunk. Basically, it is uh, a function which helps us to which provides us three states, basically automatically generates our three states, which is pending, fulfilled, and rejected. So in simpler terms, when in the traditional legacy Redux we were doing, so we had to make three different actions, like some action for request. Firstly, they will ask the user their request, then fetch the fetch that part that it will be success or not, then failure. So there are three different action types we had to assign in legacy Redux. But async thunk creates automatically these three things, like three states, pending state, and this successful state and failure state. So everything is handled by this create async thunks. So let me share my VS Code. So it will be better understanding with this VS Code with the code. So basically, I have assigned this Redux app and I have created it. In this my src folder, I have created this features folder. Inside this, I am creating this slicer. Basically, slicer is a thing which is containing and all the things combining in this slicer only. Like you are creating this, like this is a slicer. Post slice, const post slice is equal to create slice. Create slice is another inbuilt method of Redux toolkit which provides us an opportunity to create the combine basically all the things like initial state, reducers, as well as in this single slicer. But this is not the case in the legacy Redux. We had to create initial state folder differently and reducers differently. And these are the actions. Also, we have to create the actions differently. But here we are creating all of those things in the single slicer. This is a different thing. Well, let's move on the create async thunk. So here we can see I have created. You can also create this async thunk wala folder function in a different file, but I have created for the compatibility and comfortability. I've created this folder in a single file. So what I'm doing, I am using this create async thunk. So I am creating this, importing this create async thunk from Redux toolkit and also the create slice. So we create an async function, const fetch post. This is the name of the function. This is the action type, post slash fetch post. This is my action type. So this is the action type and slash async function. What I'm doing in the async function, const response. This is my variable. I'm holding all the data. Await. Await means wait until this wait fetch. This is my API. This is my like JSON.placeholder API, which contains basically the demo or the dummy projects. Sorry, a dummy post. So I'm going to add this fetch request inside this, fetch URL inside this fetch request. And after that, I'll be returning it the JSON format. So what it does, what is create async thunk does? it automatically creates three things, which I will be handling with the help of this builder function later. So I hope you understand this create async thing. It basically helps you to get or handle the asynchronous task, which is done in React. Simple. For the handling asynchronous task, you can use create async thunk, and you can fetch the data from any API, like I've did here. So next thing is extra reducers. We can also make reducers like in legacy Redux. We had created the reducers of our own, but these reducers are not created by me. These are the built-in reducers. Extra reducers are the built-in reducers which we create with using this Redux create slice. So what is extra reducer? It basically defines how the state changes. Extra reducer are things which defines how the state. This is my initial state. I have created this data loading and error. So what extra reducer does? It basically explains or helps me to handle how this my states are changing. So basically, this is my task is handled by my extra reducers here, and it also next thing is builder. Builder is one of the basically builder is like in the legacy Redux we used to create switch cases, different switch cases to handling different states. Here, builder is doing the same task. Builder is there are three cases as I've told earlier. One is pending state, second is fulfilled state, third is uh, rejected states. So builder is basically handling these three states. So I have done here extra reducer inside this. I have called this builder.add case. Basically, it is handling the case. First case is my pending. Fetch post is my function here, where from where I'm fetching my post from this API. Fetch post.pending. So in this state, pending state, my loading will be true. So that's why I have assigned this loading.true. State error, no error, because my this is my pending state, of course. So and the data will not be there. Data is empty. So that's why I have not assigned this data here because it's the pending state. Second state, builder.add case, fetch post dot fulfilled state. Second is the fulfilled state. Here I can assign action. So here I will be passing the data because there is a fulfilled state. That's why I've assigned the state loading. Now loading will be false. Initially, when I start my code, the loading will be true. At that time, the data will be loading. So after the pending state, it automatically moves to fulfilled state. Then I will assigning this state.data, my action.payload, whatever the data will be passing through this API to my response.json, and I will be assigning this action.payload inside the state.data. I'm assigning the data to this data folder. State, I have created this here, initial state, inside this slicer, post slicer. Next, that is rejected state. If you cannot fetch the data, simply put the state.loading will be false and the state.error, action dot whatever the error message I'll be handling. Here I have not tried using the try catch block. I can write in the try catch block also, like this. Whatever the error will be, I can write error is this. So here try catch block, now it's completely complete. Whatever the error will be, action dot error dot message, it will be displaying. Okay. So these things are my this is my whole fundamentals of Redux toolkit. What I hope you understand this create slice and create async thunk in extra reducer. Create slice is basically another function provided by this Redux toolkit. Basically allow us to create all encapsulate three things. Our initial states, our reducers. Here I have created extra reducers, but you can also create the reducers of your own. These are the inbuilt reducers that are created by this Redux toolkit, handled by Redux toolkit. It's three states: pending, fulfilled, and rejected. But you can also create your own. It's not a big deal. So after that, you will be storing, passing this reducer here in the store, and after that, you in your main file, you will be passing as a provider. This store will be passed as the provider, whatever the store I have created here. And inside the store, this reducer that I created in this slicer was passed. You need to export that reducer first, then you will be exporting it to your store. After that, you will be passing it your main.jsx inside this provider, and you'll be passing your app here. Then whatever in your app.jsx, this is my component post where I am handling the post. Let me run this code. Post is my basically my component I have created to fetch the data, whatever the data I am fetching from this extra create racing thunk from this API. That data will be shown in this API. So what I am doing here, I am just fetching my data, that function fetch post also. So here are two different things, use dispatch and use selector. Use selector is basically used for pinpointing the whatever the data I have created inside that slicer. So state.post, because I have stated my data as post. Okay, so then my name of the slicer is post. So that's why it's posting to state.post pointing. So use effect, inside this use effect, I am dispatch is basically using for calling my async functions, whatever the functions I have called. So inside this return statement, I have returning, I'm running basically a map on my data, whatever the data I'm getting from the API, and I'm showing it. So let me run this and show you how I'm getting the data. Mm, Let me run it here only. So this is my data. Oh, and the code I am getting post.title. I have run the background color black. That's why I'm getting very messy. So this is my title and this is my body, which I have created here, post.body. These are my number of posts. Okay. So that's all about my assignment. I hope you understand this basic functionality of Redux Toolkit. So that's all. Thank you and have a nice day.